All right, hello, folks. So I've been considering doing this for ages. So something a bit different today. Oh, somebody's just moved. Typical. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. It's just a game. And there's something is the survival mode on Puzzle Rush, and this is a bit different. So what survival mode is you, instead of doing 3 minutes worth, 5 minutes worth, and getting as many as you can, you just have 3 lives, and if you get one wrong, you lose a life. And look, here's some of the highest scores so far today. Lots in the 40s. Look, you can see there's a master player there who's got 44. And down to number 40 in the world has got 41 correct puzzles. What's the top? The top so far is a FIDE Master with 57. Now, I've watched a couple of the world's top grandmasters do this on their streams. Like Hikaru gets up to sort of 80-ish, Hikaru Nakamura, which is ridiculous. I'm obviously going to get nowhere near that. But let's just give it a go for a giggle. I don't want to sit here for hours and hours and hours doing it. But here's how it works. Basically, say you get 3 lives and they start off relatively straightforward. And then they are supposed to get harder. So relatively straightforward, says I. Right. Okay. So white to move. What do we do here? Click quit and don't bother doing it. No. Okay. So. Okay. They're supposed to start easy. All right, fair enough. Right, well, let's see. So the material is that we are 2 pawns down. So we need to be winning. I have to say this is 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning that I'm doing this. Perhaps I should go and make a second coffee before I get too involved. So let's look at the possible checks. Right, so queen here, no, because queen takes queen, and queen there, no. Queen takes queen, but I think he just recaptures and we've got nothing. And remember, we're 2 pawns down, so we need more than nothing. So there's no good checks, captures that I can see with the queen. There's a possible check here. Now, what happens if we do that check? Now, queen takes would just be rook takes queen, and that's probably going to be okay. So bishop takes. If queen takes, I think we're just taking the queen, and we're pretty happy with that. I think that's okay. If rook takes, so we're playing. Well, I'm thinking of bishop takes. If rook takes, we've got to keep checking because remember, queen. No, not there. Queen takes queen is a threat. So if rook takes, I reckon we go rook here. And then we'd have a rook there and a rook here, both looking at this square. So I think that's probably the answer. I think it's going to be here. Yeah, now he's gone with the queen, which I think is the only move to keep the game going. And then we play rook takes queen. Right, so we've got one. We've solved one. Okay, great. So we've got the same sort of thing. Now, this looks easier to me than the previous one. This rook is already guarding all of these squares. So I would think just bishop takes pawn is just winning. And that's checkmate. Okay, so we're on 2. Now they obviously get a lot harder as you go through. So look, this one is just rook takes rook is checkmate. Very simple. The first one was quite tricky, relatively. This one is going to be that we go here with the queen because it's checkmate, except for rook takes queen, but then rook takes rook finishes it off. So that's fine. This is all so far so good. And they do stay quite easy for quite a while. And then suddenly they stop. Now this is pointing this way, this is pointing this way, and nothing else is defending that square. So queen takes is checkmate. Okay, so we're playing with the white pieces here. We've got a knight undefended, queen and the king on the same diagonal. This one plays itself. Here we go. Rook here, check. Queen takes rook is mate along the back rank. So far, so good. But when it gets difficult, it gets difficult. Now, this one is going to be to set up something called an epaulette mate. But how you solve puzzles is you look for checks and captures. So check there's no good, rook takes queen. Check there's no good, king takes queen. Check here isn't yet any good because of the bishop. But what if? So rook takes pawn, bishop takes is forced. It's the only way out of checkmate. And then queen here will be mate. So rook takes. And it's called an epaulette, mate, because the king has got two epaulettes. Look up epaulettes if you don't know what they are, on his shoulders that block the escape squares. Okay, so this looks to me like it's probably another back rank checkmate. So we put queen on c8, the bishop will block, then the rook will block, but each time we just take. So here, takes, checkmate. And this is a very similar pattern. So we're going to take here, force the king to the corner, and then queen here, check, rook will take, and rook takes rook. So far, so straightforward. It isn't going to stay this easy. Okay, so this bishop looks unprotected to me, and it's on the same line as my bishop. So presumably, if I play knight takes here, which is check, white will play rook takes knight, and then we just pick up the three bishops. So let's try that. I think that's going to work. And we just pick up a piece. Yeah, good. Okay. Okay, so my immediate reaction is I want to play queen here. Then the only move to prevent mate is to go back here. And then I guess bishop takes pawn is winning. Yeah, so queen here forces the queen back. And now bishop takes pawn check. And when there's a bishop on this square, the queen can't take because queen takes king is a bit good. And the king can't take because queen takes king would be a bit good. So that wins by forcing the king back, and then that's mate. So, okay. Right. Queen on the same line as the undefended bishop, which makes me look at that move with check so that we can then play queen takes bishop. But is there anything better? Because that doesn't strike me as being immediately winning. So knight here, check. He's going to play pawn takes, and then we're going to play queen takes bishop. But is that actually winning? I don't know that that's immediately winning. So maybe there's something better. Let's just keep looking. That's the only check that I can see. The only captures, you can capture there but takes, you can capture here but takes or takes, actually takes there as well. There's no obviously undefended white pieces except this. Now this is where I don't want to mess up a stupid one. I don't, so here takes, not knight takes, that would be ridiculous, queen takes. We're threatening queen here. The only way to stop it would be to go rook across. We then have queen here check. If the king moves to the corner, we take the pawn with check. See, now this is the thing. I don't want to just play this and be wrong because I'd be losing a life, but I can't think of anything else that it could possibly be in this position. It has to be this. It has to be. Yeah, it is. And then presumably it's queen takes, threatening here. And that was it. Oh, okay. That was strange. Is that just okay, whatever, who cares? We got it right. Okay, now this isn't the obvious rook takes rook because there's, oops, no, get off, because there's two pieces defending that along there. I think it's here first. I think rook here first. So the pawn is guarding this square. So rook here's check. So if we go here, rook takes, queen takes, the king has to go back, and then queen h8 is mate. And actually, even if the king was here, it would be mate because you've got the rook backing it all up. So that's the correct move. And the king will go back, and there's the checkmate. Okay, cool. So we've got 13, but say they're getting harder. Now then. Okay, so this is going to be, because although this pawn is going to get there before ours, when ours gets there, it's going to be checkmate. So I'll show you what I mean. So takes, takes, and now we go forward, forward. Oh no, white's got a queen, but it didn't let us see the end of it, but we'd have promoted as a queen and it would have been a checkmate along the top line. Okay, now this one, we're actually going to have to just play rook takes rook. Because it's check, white will have to deal with it by capturing, and then we take this one, and then we'd just be 1, 2, 3 pawns ahead. So I think that has to be correct. And then here. And okay, fine, we escape. Cool. Okay, so the pawn is blocking these two squares, which is kind of cool. The bishop is blocking these two, and that one if it becomes useful. So that makes me think that queen here check is just winning because the pawn would have to go forward and then queen takes. So that has to be correct. That has to be mate. Well, that's check. And if I just move my king somewhere, then we lose a rook. So clearly we have to play rook takes rook. And then because we're already threatening the queen, if we go here and threaten the rook as well, we have to win material. So it must be here. And then I guess we just pick up a rook. Yay. All right, it's going okay so far. So far, as I say, they will get harder. Now, this queen has very few squares. She can't take the bishop because it's protected by 2 pieces. She can't go here because of the pawn. Currently, she can go here, more of that in a sec, and she can't go here because of the bishop. So I reckon if we just move this pawn forward to attack the queen, she's got no escape squares and we win a queen. Sure enough, so we've won a queen for 2 pieces. Okay, happy with that. Okay. This is going to be a question of forcing the king across. So check. If the king goes here, then queen here would be mate. And if the king goes to the corner, we can play rook check, rook takes rook, queen takes rook is mate. So it's here, here, and here. Now this just looks horrid. This poor knight here just looks like it's going to die. So I think knight here is just going to win because then you've got 2 pieces attacking the knight. And if white plays knight takes knight, bishop takes queen's winning. Yeah, that, oh no, that's pawn. Pick up the right piece. Donut! There, good. And we've won a queen for 2 pieces. Well, you can check me if you want. So what? Okay. Now, what are we doing here? There's not any immediately obvious loose pieces here. So what are we doing? Okay. This is the first one where we might have to do some thinking because this isn't leaping off the screen at me at all. So there's no checkmate pattern. If we move the knight, we better make sure it's good because we've got bishop takes rook looking at us. Right, there's no checks. I can't check anything. I can take this pawn with the queen, but that's obviously silly, so we rule that out. I can take this with the queen, but queen takes queen, so that's no good. And I think that's the only captures. So we've got no checks, no captures that are any good. Can we create a threat somewhere? I can't put this knight anywhere to attack anything because we'd lose a rook. I mean, if I could somehow magically put the knight somewhere where, you know, if I could magically put it there, it wouldn't matter. But I can't because that would be cheating. Oh, hang on a minute. Hold on. I think I've got it. Right, this bishop is only defended by the knight. So if I play the pawn forward to make the knight move, that might do it. So pawn forward makes the knight move. The alternative is, so let's say the knight goes here, we just play queen takes bishop, we win a piece. If he plays this, instead of recapturing the bishop, we actually would play pawn takes because now we're threatening his queen. He has to move the queen, and then we play pawn takes bishop. Right, so that's got to be right. Yeah, and now we just pick up bishop. Yeah, cool. Okay. So that's check. We've got to get out of check. We're going up the board. So what we're going to do here, I think, is block the check with this queen move, because not only is that blocking the check, but it forks the king and queen. So he'd have to play queen takes, we play bishop takes, and then these two are going to get to the end. There's nothing that can be done to stop it. So it's here. Just check the move order. I would think queen takes queen. We can't play queen takes pawn. That's illegal because of the pin. So it must be queen takes queen. It must be then king takes, bishop takes. And we have to push the correct pawn. Now this is a white squared bishop, and this is the queening square, therefore, that we've got to go for. So it must be this pawn. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now this one, I'd like to do this and just win this pawn, but it doesn't work yet because the rook can come across. So I'm guessing we have to play here, which is check. The king will move. We play rook takes rook, king takes rook, and then we can just pick up this pawn and probably win the game. I think that's probably good. So we'll go there, there, I just want to make sure the right move isn't actually to push the pawn forward now. So if I go here, here, takes, he can actually go here and win my pawn. So actually, I don't know that that's right. This is one where I could actually mess this up by just being careless. So if I go here to win the pawn, let's just do some counting. So here, takes, king here. I've got no way to defend this. This square is covered by his king. This square is covered by his king. And if anything, we're in some trouble there. So actually, I reckon it might be here. I think it is. I think that's the right move. Oh, it isn't. Ah, right. Okay. I really thought yeah. Okay, fine. So we got one wrong. So we've lost a life. Oops. But we can go back and check these in a minute. Maybe I overthought that. Right, now my instinct here is to play queen takes pawn, and then I don't see how he defends that square. I mean, there's a bishop check, but I just move out the way, so what? Yeah, this is queen takes pawn, it has to be. Yeah, okay, fine, we just move that away. And then we go here and here, checkmate. Right, okay, back on track. Oh, that one's annoyed me. I will have to look at them at the end. Okay, so this is, right, okay, I think we go queen here. King there's the only move. Queen there. Now we can't put the knight on this square because we just take it and we checkmate. So we'd have to go king here. And then I think bishop there is checkmate. Right, yeah, so that's, we're in check. Oh, I didn't spot that. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, how does that change things then? Do I get out of check by putting the bishop in the way and gaining time against his queen? Or do I just completely ignore it and go here? Okay, some thinking is required. Well, he can't play queen takes bishop in a minute. It's not a proper fork because it's defended. So, I actually am not sure now. I just didn't spot that it was check. I was so busy looking at our attack. I don't, but what do we do here? The material, we are 2 passed pawns, but for a knight. So we're down on material, down on pieces. I really want to be able to play here. And if the bishop comes back to attack the queen, I suddenly can't play there because the square's not defended anymore. So this needs a bit of thought. Actually, what if I go queen back? That is looking at this square. He'd have to move his queen. So what if I go queen here? If he takes, I end up with a king on that square. How does he stop? Right, okay, he can stop this pawn from marching by putting his bishop here. And then I can't make any progress. Right, so it's definitely not there. So I've got 2 candidates. I either play the king to the corner. Yeah, I wouldn't play it to h1 because the queen could go here. So I'd have to play it to h2 and then he runs out of checks. Or I put the bishop back. I'm not having it. I've got to leave the bishop there to attack the king. I'm convinced. Right, I'm going with this one. Yeah. Oh, he had to take the bishop. Oh, wow. In which case, there must have been a forced checkmate that I didn't spot because he's just given up the queen to stop it. Well, that's kind of cool. Okay, this one's straightforward. This is just takes and then checkmate. That's an easy one. 25. We're doing all right. It'd be nice to get over 40 to get on the leaderboard, but that's probably pushing my luck a little bit. Okay, so what he's done, he's moved his rook away from this threat. But that leaves a threat of bishop takes queen. So yeah, we probably need to do something about that, which makes me think immediately of here. That knight is then hanging. We'd have king takes knight. Is this as simple as just queen here? I think it is. I think it probably is. Yeah, I think it probably is. Is it queen here? Yeah. Now the king moves. Now where am I? What am I doing now? Am I still going after the king or do I just play king takes knight? I mean, king takes knight looks pretty obvious. I mean, there's knight here, check, but pawn takes, and I've gained nothing really. I've got no way to carry on attacking. Oh, this has got to be king takes knight. Yeah, it is. Right, now bishop takes. I guess I have to play king takes bishop. Oh, and it's solved. Okay, cool. Right, this is quite devilish, but this is just going to be queen here because of the x-ray defense from this rook. So this is an easy one. Oh, great, mate. Okay, cool. 27. I'm still really annoyed about that. I really want to go back and see if I was right in the first place. Now this, we've already got a piece attacking the bishop. So I think if we go with the fork, because it's check, he'll move the way, and then we just play queen takes bishop. So I think that's straightforward. We take it with the queen, not with the bishop. If I go with the bishop, we've pinned our own piece, and one of the rooks coming over might be awkward. So I think queen takes, and it's all solved. Good. Oh, oh man, I can't quite. Hold on. Oh, yeah, it is going to be a crossfire, mate. Yeah, we're going to put the bishop here, which is check. Remember, the queen's guarding these squares, so the king has to go across, and then queen here will be mate. Yeah, so it's a bit of a crossfire. So you'll see, check. We go here. The bishop has to block, and queen there is mate. Okay. Huh. Dum, 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 dum. Right, okay. Well, we've got obvious things going on up here, but that knight's guarding this square, and that knight's guarding this square. And actually, we've got to remember the queen is all the way along there as well. So what are we going to do here? We've got a check. What does the check achieve? Does the check achieve anything at all? Oh, wait, it might. Oh, it does. Hold on a minute. Right, it's check. Now, if the king goes across, because the pawn's guarding this square, remember, we can play rook here, knight takes, rook takes is then mate. And I think queen here, if he blocks with the queen, we can do a distraction. Rook here is check, knight takes, rook takes, king takes, and the queen's hanging right. So it's here. And this is why. So rook here, check, take the knight. That's forced. And then we just play queen takes queen and we're winning. Okay. Man, look at all this over here. Potentially knight here. I think, oh, there's got to be something based on this diagonal. There's got to be something to do with this diagonal here. But what? A queen takes bishop isn't going to work because queen takes queen. But there has to be something based on this. Has to be. But what is it? That's not quite going to do it. There's got to be something based on this. Got to be. But what is the answer? Right, let's look at the check. So queen there, king takes, pawn on is check, but it's not going to work because pawn didn't know. So it's not going to be that for the same reason it's not queen there. So that's two checks that way. Queen takes pawn, king takes no. Queen takes pawn, either, either pawn takes. So no, it's not that. But at the same time, I've got to do something with my queen because she's in danger. So what if I just put the queen? I don't know. Is it pawn on? Oh, hold on. Pawn on. It's pawn on. Right, now pawn on. So that would then uncover the battery. If bishop takes, we go knight takes, which is check, and attacks the queen. But is that actually winning? Because we gain... Yeah, we'd be a piece up. Yeah, it's this. It's this. So check. The king moves. Now that is also check from the bishop and you're just a piece up. Yeah, okay, cool. That took a bit of doing, but okay, fine. Got there. Okay, so what have we got this time? We've got possibly a check here, possibly a check here, and possibly a check there. So it's got to be one of those three moves. And we've got to try and win this because we're a rook and a bishop down. So we're playing for checkmate here. Now, I think it's queen here. The king has to go there. Queen here, check. King across. And rook here is mate after we take the white queen. Right, okay, so it's here, here, and that's, yeah. So, yeah, that would have ended it. Okay. So we've got queen here, check, but look at the queen and king on the same line, and I'm wondering if I should just go here and just skewer the queen. What alternatives have we got? We've got a bishop check. Oh, hold on a minute. Bishop check. Oh, that's got to be better. Right, bishop check. The king can't go here because of my queen. Can't go here, can't go here. Has to go here. And then queen here is just mate. Yeah, okay, so we're trying to be too clever by half. This is just checkmate. Brilliant. Right, 33. Okay. Oh, okay, right. So I think this is to do with it. So rook takes rook, forces bishop back. Now that bishop's hitting this square. So if I bring the rook across, I'm threatening check. And there's no way for black to save the bishop. And what I mean is, like, he'll have to do something about the checkmate. So say he plays pawn up to make an escape square from his king, for his king. But rook here is check and wins the bishop. So I reckon this is here. And I reckon it's here. Exactly what I said. He's got to make a space for the king, but then we go here with check and just pick up the bishop. Okay, cool. Right, 34. We've got potentially two pieces hitting a square next to the king, and the bishop's guarding this one. I think we're going to do something based on this square. I think this is queen here. He has to put something in the way. Yeah, it is. This is a checkmate. So it's here, and now we sack the queen. So we play queen takes. The bishop's guarding that, remember, so it's forcing him to play rook takes, and then rook here will be checkmate. So takes, takes. And if this is now a white rook, so I'm going to play rook takes rook, it's protected by the bishop. The bishop guards this square and the rook guards these two, so it's checkmate. 35. I wish I hadn't wasted that life. I've got a horrible feeling that's going to come back to haunt me, but still. Right, what's going on here? There's no obvious checks or captures that are any good. That move with the knight forking the bishop and the queen is springing to mind because it just looks really, really good. What the material's level, isn't it? No, we're a pawn up, but okay, so the material's basically level. That looks really good. I think that's got to be right. I think it's got to be right. And then when this bishop's gone, we just pick up another pawn. Oh, yeah, that's what it's going to be. Right, so it'll be knight here. You're attacking the queen. If the queen goes, say, here, you just pick up the bishop for free. So we're going to put knight here. The queen will go there to keep defending the bishop. But then knight takes, queen takes, and we'll play bishop takes, which will be skewering the queen and the rook. Right, so this has got to be here. He's whatever, it's the same difference. Knight takes, bishop takes, and we go here and we're winning because there was a queen and a rook being skewered by, oops, not by that, which is obviously silly, but yeah, okay, cool. Right, 36. I feel like I want to take this pawn because if queen blocks the check, we just win a rook. So that's going to force, instead, if queen here, it's going to force the king to go here. He can't go here because of my bishop. And then we've got the possibility of this check, which might be cool. We've got the possibility of queen here, which might be cool. And there's nothing else that's leaping off the board at me. So I think it's got to be queen takes pawn check to start with. Right, okay, and he's gone there as I explained. So now the tricky bit now is what's next. Now I reckon it can't just be queen here because you'll just put the king back again. So there's got to be something else. But so bishop here looks like it's skewering, but we haven't had this pawn move. Then what else have I got in the way of checks? A queen here. Wait, hold on. Queen there is not going to do it because queen in the way. Queen, I don't know. See, now I'm regretting that I've wasted a life because I can't really just have a guess here. I think it's got to be bishop g5 check. And then I want to play the queen. Yeah, it is. Ah, right. Okay, it's here. Now, pawn forward, queen back. If he plays the king back, I can play bishop takes because queen takes bishop and I've got queen takes rook. It's check and just win that rook. It's here. Now, I've got to put the queen on the right square. If I put it here, I don't think that does me any favors. He just goes here and I've run out of attack. So it's got to be here. Right, he's gone back to that square and now the queen's attacking the rook, but it's defended. So I reckon what I do here, oh, I don't know. I could also play that back there now. Maybe that's better. Right, so I need to do some thinking. So what I was going to do was play here. If queen takes bishop, queen takes rook, and I think we're just doing all right. But now that I've seen this check, we better... Oh, it's rubbish because king knight takes bishop. Right, okay, in which case it has to be this. Has to be. Yeah, and as called, yeah, takes. 37, okay. Right, this king over here is almost in a mating net. He can't go here, we can't go here because of the pawns. And he can't go here because of the rook. So my first instinct is, can we do something to finish him off while he's there? Is bishop here just winning? Because I'm struggling to see a way to defend this. I think bishop here is just winning. I mean, he's got two pointless checks with the bishop, but in both cases, I would just take. If he pushes the pawn forward, I can still play bishop takes pawn. Although he does then have rook there. Right, hold on. So bishop here, pawn forward. Bishop takes pawn, rook here. And I put the bishop back. And he still can't defend this square. Right, I think this is right. Ah, rats. Okay. Right, 37. And we've got a problem. I've got two wrong. Okay. I actually want to know what I've miscalculated there. I hope it lets me go to the ones that we got wrong at the end as well, because it would really suck if we can't. Okay, so what have we got? Material is 10, 11, 12, 13 against 9, 10, 11, 12. But obviously the queen is a bit tasty. Can I just go rook up here and threaten checkmate? Because remember, this rook's guarding all of these. Is this that simple? Can I do that? I don't know, maybe I can, because here, what's he actually going to do to stop it? I mean, he can check me once, but I just put the rook in the way. And he's run out of checks. King takes pawn's irrelevant because it doesn't change anything. I think that's probably right, you know. Yeah, it is. It is. Just put the rook in the way. Ah! Oh, no. Oh! Oh, what's wrong with... Oh! I should have slowed down. There's a check up here. Right, how frustrating. Okay, let's see. I presume... Well, 37's not bad for a first ever go at this. And yeah, even the ones I got wrong, I wasn't a million miles off. Right, so let's have a look at this first one. So I think I said check was right, that was right, and I tried the pawn move forward, but it's now saying that it should be, it's got to be here. But I didn't think this would work because he was going to win a pawn and promote first. So I probably just miscounted. So pawn on, king takes, king here, and yeah, I should have looked at it a bit longer. Of course, this, and we're going to promote first. Yeah, okay, well, all right, fine. This one, So I thought it was going to be bishop here. Oh, hang on, he's got to play his move first. Right, so fine. So I wanted to play bishop here, threatening rook here, mate, but it wasn't that. So, in which case, oh, I've just seen it. I had the right idea, but yeah, okay. So it's got to be here first. Takes, then, okay, because that, okay, right, stop, slowly. Here is check. He's probably going to take, I'm going to take. If he plays king here, he's in serious problems. It'll be, it's just, yeah, it's not, yeah, it's going to be here. Let's just do it. Right, takes. Now, if he goes here, where am I going? Is it just as simple as rook takes pawn? Yeah. And then I'm guessing, right, okay, yeah, it is. So this pawn's guarding here and here. The rook is guarding along here. So all we have to do, and there's the move, I had it in the wrong order, is not only the final check, but it also protects the rook. So there's the right move. Okay. Okay, and this was the last one. So queen here, I got this right. And then when he goes here, this doesn't quite work because I just didn't notice that that's check. So we're going to have to put the king somewhere else first. So the question is, do I put it there? Or do I put it here? So let's have a look. So, excuse me. So if I go here, he's going to check me probably there. Then I put the rook back in the way. But he's got to check here, and that isn't going to do it because when I move the king, queen takes pawn. So it's probably going to be here to stay in contact with the pawn. Yeah, I think it's here. And then he's just run out of checks, hasn't he? He's got no checks. And yeah, although that obviously stops me with my checkmate plan, what it now does is puts these two on the same line. So I just go here and win the queen. Oh, well, okay. Well, 37. So, all right. Well, that's not a total disaster. It's the first go I've had at that on this account. And to be fair, if I'd just been ever so slightly slower, I would have probably got those as well. So not bad. Not a million miles off of being on the leaderboard from a first go. Does it let me? Oops. Let's just put that back to full screen. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I wonder if it'll let me actually see the leaderboard, see how far off I was. Puzzle Rush, Survival, leaderboard, 37. 30, oh, well, look, so there's lots of people on 38. So I'd have been sort of, 40 odd in the world. So that's not too bad for a first go. Oh, is it? Oh, daily. Oh, maybe the daily one's higher. Oh, okay. I was looking at it by hour. Oh, well, that's not quite so clever. Oh, but it only shows the top 15 then. Who's the highest? So there's a grandmaster there who's got 64. Oh, look, these are all title players. These are all different proper master players. In fact, yeah, there's no master players over 50 by the looks of it. Well, okay. Yeah, fair enough. I want to say that, I'm not going to get to the stage where the grandmaster players are. Good grief. Well, that wasn't bad. What about personal? 30, okay, so cool. So I can actually look at my own leaderboard. So I might have another go at this another day and see if we can't beat the 37. Perhaps we can try to, maybe one day we'll crack 50, but let's start by cracking 40 and go from there. Right, I hope that was something a little bit different and a bit interesting. And yeah, see you all next time for a bit more chess. Thanks.